Alright, so welcome back to my team career mode. It has been quite a while, but we're now back. Last time out at, I think Miami was the last episode, and I'd like to forget that one, to be honest. It was miserable. The entire time, I just couldn't get to grips with Sector 1. I was incredibly slow. Hulkenberg's engine went, although I made up a conspiracy theory during the race that Hulkenberg pretended his engine went just so he didn't have to drive anymore, and that would have been completely understandable because it's a really bad track. But then today we're doing a full switch around because we're going to one of the best tracks on the calendar. It is, of course, Autodromo Internazionale Enzo E. Dino Ferrari, or as everyone calls it, Imola. Alright, so welcome to qualifying. I just want to say before we crack on with the weekend, if you could please like the video, because it's very helpful, and why not subscribe as well? I'm trying to hit 1.4k by the end of the year. I am grinding content like never before, multiple videos a day. This upcoming weekend, we have the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'll be doing watch-alongs of all sessions, so come join in. And without further ado, let's begin this weekend with, of course, qualifying. Now, I thought that Imola was a sprint weekend, but I guess it's just not. That's fine. Let's skip forward until there's about 10 minutes remaining, and we can take a look at what kind of lap times we're looking at. Of course, our target really today is, well, it's always the same. Try and beat our teammate Hulkenberg. But we might as well look at what's going on a couple of places ahead of him. Now, I assume Hulkenberg is going to be last. He always is, because our car is, well, let's just say it probably rivals F2 cars, and that's probably about it. So let's see, where is he? Yeah, okay, so he's last, but honestly, by a lot less of a margin than usual. Usually it's about, you know, upwards of half a second to 6/10, whereas today, it's only a 10th. That's pretty good. So a 1 minute 14.6 is the time to beat. Let's get out there and do this thing. Now, I don't want to, you know, give an excuse for myself before I've even started, but I have not played this game in a few days. I have been playing too much Gran Turismo, so I'm going to be extremely rusty and very, very unconfident, if that's even a word, on this first lap. But this is just a benchmark, see what the pace is like. Let's go down to about 50% ERS. Into turn 1, it is very, very scary. I feel like my wheel, I'm already on the grass, what a start. I feel like my wheel does have the bug where it's slightly not registering my wheel inputs correctly. The angle's a bit dodgy, but we can live with it for now. Sector 1, oh no. Okay, so through Sector 1, I am half a second down on Zhou Guanyu. Okay, to be fair, my Sector 1 round this track has never been that strong. It's Sector 3 where I pulled a time back. Through Aqua Minerale, I think that corner's called. I probably pronounced it wrong, but at least I got the corner name right, I think. Now, this is usually where I gain the most time. I've lost another 2.5 tenths. That chicane is where I usually gain about 2 tenths to 3 tenths on the AI. Obviously, that's still not enough. Around the final corner, and that was very, very, very average. We crossed the line, and it's going, oh, Nelly. It's a 1 minute 15.2. which is 8 tenths off my teammate. Oh, that is a serious issue. So it was 4 tenths in Sector 1, 2 and a bit tenths in Sector 2, and my Sector 3 is okay, but nothing spectacular. It's actually only faster than Hulkenberg. Oh, that's gonna be an issue. Right, now, they don't call me Mr. Clutch Factor for a reason. I am usually quite good at putting it all together on my final run to get a nice position. So let's do this thing. I can definitely use a lot more ERS down this main straight, like considerably more. I went to 50% last time. I'm going to go, well, pretty much as I can use, which is going to be about there. Right, let's not try and completely mess up turns 1, 2, and 3. Through there, on throttle nice and early. Still a little bit lackluster, but not bad at all. 4 tenths up already. Alright, now through the chicane where I gain a lot of time, I am 8 tenths up on myself. Really pushing through there, a little bit too much curb, but a quality exit. I am going to lose a little bit of time, but that's still not awful. Into the final 2 corners, proper late on the breakage. Get round there. Final corner, a little bit too much curbage. It's a bit of a stinky final couple of corners. 1 second! Watch me only gain 2 places off that. I knew it. I told you. I called it. I did. So, even though I just found 1 second, I know my first lap was really bad and already 8 tenths off, but just the concept, the general concept, ignore the context, the concept of finding 1 second of lap time improvement and you still finish 21st. I mean, looking at it in hindsight, I could have probably found 20 milliseconds or like 18 milliseconds easily and got into P20. Maybe in a perfect world, P18 was the absolute best. But yeah, I mean, we out-qualified Hulkenberg, which was the goal, so I suppose that's a W. And with how far behind our car is compared to the rest of the field, I forgot to show you a lot, which I was going to do before I started this episode. It's really bad. Like, our gap to Sauber, who is the second worst car, is, like, it's about the same gap from, like, the 7th best team, which I believe is Alpine, to the front. That's how large the gap is between us, the slowest, and the second slowest, Sauber. It's really bad. So, given the fact that I was only 20 milliseconds off them, Hulkenberg also only a tenth and a bit off them, I think that's quite a decent qualifying. So we go to the race, once again, on the back row of the grid. It actually feels like Williams in 2019 reborn. Oh my... That is not what I wanted to see. So welcome to the Imola Grand Prix in 2025. It's pouring down. That is just not what I wanted to see at all. Not only have I've said it before, my wet weather driving isn't top notch, but also it means that overtaking is going to be basically impossible. It's already pretty difficult in the dry. So this is basically just going to be like Monaco. It's just no overtaking and just keep it on track. Fantastic. And I was just about to say as well that my race pace has always been quite good compared to my quali pace. So maybe we could gain a couple of places. But now... okay, you know what? Whatever. So it's actually so wet that we're going on to the full wet. Now, this is going to be a very, very tough choice. And I'm going to try my best not to overthink it. In this game, for some reason, I don't know why, the intermediates, no matter how wet it is, the inters are quicker than the wets. Now, my evidence for this was Canada, I think Has to Glory, maybe, where I went out in full wet conditions on inters and was quicker. So you know what? We might as well take a risk. I'm in P21. Let's go onto the intermediate tyres for this race. And we'll see how that goes. Now, it does say that it's going to get quite dry at the end of the race, like the very end. So, I mean, what lap is that? That's, what are those laps, like, what's the interval of that? So about lap 17 or 18, it's going to start to get dry, but I'm just going to go stick with me gut, which is go on the intermediates, and, let's start this thing. As you can see, every other driver around me is on the full wet tyres. Let's see if I've made a good call, and we are off the line. Lots of wheel spin, of course, because we are in the wet. Just got to keep it pointing in a straight line, which I've done very well. And I'm already ahead of Magnussen. What a start that is. I'm lying. I'm not actually ahead of Magnussen. Brake. Oh, a little bit bumpy. That's all right. Magnussen actually sends it round the outside. I'm being driven into. Oh, it's like Ricciardo in 2022. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I was up to P20, but then I crashed into a Haas and drop back down, and then they've all done me. Now they're going 3 wide. To be honest, the intermediates are working. That was a bit too close. I need to be really careful with my front wing. As you can tell, I'm not the greatest racer when there's lots of cars around me, but the intermediates are definitely working. Are they better than the full wets? I couldn't tell you, but they are definitely drivable. Oh, hang on, this is a bit slippery. I didn't think I'd be able to do that. Go on. Get round. Oh, what a move that is. Down the inside of Sargent. That is lovely. I suppose that was just taking advantage of the AI. They don't really, they don't really defend when they're all behind each other, and you can just send it up the inside usually. So, that's a good thing to take note of. Keep in mind as well, we could probably have the hot lap ERS mode on, for the entire duration of the race. I might leave it off during cornering because it does make exits that little bit harder because there's an extra 100 horsepower going through the rear wheels, which in the dry is fine. In the wet, it's a little bit, you know, difficult. But lap 1 complete, I'm up 2 places. It's pretty good, it's just, it's very difficult to drive, which it definitely feels harder than normal interconditions, but I'm not losing too much pace to everyone else, so I might just stick with it for now. I'm feeling a move on here. Down the inside of Magnussen, maybe. From long range. No, that's not going to happen. Never mind. Magnussen actually had decent braking. Alright, this time there's definitely a move on. Use the ERS. Try and get as close to Magnussen. Please, I'm going for it. Down the inside of Magnussen. Oh, yes. That was a quality overtake. I did not think that I would be able to brake in time. And actually, look at that. There are drivers pitting. There is Sergio Perez and Oscar Piastri and Hulkenberg all stopping. Have I made the greatest strategy call in history by going onto the inters early? Because it seems like drivers are now stopping to, well, I assume to fit the inters. Surely they don't all just coincidentally have damage at the same lap. I can also feel the track gripping up quite a lot. This is an incredible moment in history here, because I believe I have just made the greatest call in history. But let's not get, you know, too ahead of ourselves. We still have a lot of drivers out on the full wets, and they are still decently fast. But this track is gripping up so fast that I reckon I can clear these cars fairly quickly. Maybe give it like 3 laps and they'll be gone. I'm going for a move here. I didn't think it was on, but it definitely is. Lance Stroll, he's gone for a switchback to try and defend around the outside. What a move. I am doing some fan-bleeding-tastic overtakes right now. I didn't think I'd get that off either, but I am just class, I guess. I'd also like to point out the tyre wear right now is basically 0. We're 4 and a bit laps in, and my tyres are 2% worn, which means I can definitely stay out for the entire race. In fact, if I stayed out the entire race, my tyre wear would be under 10. So, yeah, we're definitely doing that. More drivers are stopping now. Lewis Hamilton also in for the inters. I'm way ahead of him. Up to P12. This is insane so far. My next car to try and clear is going to be the Williams of Alexander Albon. But yeah, the full wets are definitely still usable and still pretty fast. But I reckon if I just save up ERS, I can do the same thing that I did to Magnussen. Just send it up the inside of the penultimate corner. Alright, here we go. Alexander Albon. Overtake is on. I'm actually going to have to go to the inside because Albon is covering off the outside. Can I make it? Oh, yeah, bet I can. Another pretty nice overtake. I mean, they're quite bog standard, because what else am I supposed to do? But it's still a good overtake, do you know what I mean? We do have a few more drivers in as well. I'm lying, it's just the one, it's Danny Rick. And actually, Albon's trying to fight back. I do have a lot of overtake to fend him off, but he's giving it a go here. I'm not happy about that. The fastest lap is currently 2 seconds quicker than my best lap, so I have no idea where, you know, Piastri and Perez and whoever are finding that kind of lap time, because I need some of it right now. Alright, I've managed to catch up to Mr. Yuki Tsunoda. I'm going to go to the inside because I feel like it. Brake! In there. Nice. Keep it clean. Lovely move. My pace right now is extremely good. I have managed to close the gap to like how fast the front runners were going. They were doing like, you know, well, that. I've just taken the fastest lap. They were doing like low 22s whilst I was like low 21s. Sorry, not 21s, 24s. And we have a VSC as Oscar Piastri DNFs at the final corner. Okay, well, that shouldn't affect things too much. Pretty much every driver has already passed the pit lane, so no free stops for anyone. The tyre deck is pretty crap at the moment. The rears are taking an absolute battering, but I should be able to stay out without stopping and be okay. Actually, Hulkenberg has stopped. Oh, I don't know about that. Alright, safety car is ending. Well, virtual safety car. And I have had a really nice exit to that. I did lose a couple attempts, but that's fine. And we are back underway in this race, and we are already closing in on my next 3 targets. We have Ocon, we have Théo Pourchaire, and we have the other Alpine, who's the other Alpine? I don't even know. But if you look at the track surface, it's actually getting pretty dry. Now, the game is telling me to pit. That is understandable because it is my time to stop. But honestly, I'm just going to wait until it's dry, because it is drying. The rain is stopping. The track is drying very, very quickly. I'm just going to wait until it's time for slicks and then just pit then. There's no point pitting now for an extra set of inters just to pit again. Do you know what I mean? And actually, look at that. Fernando Alonso is already on the slicks. I still think it's a little bit too early. Like, not like crazy early, but maybe like 1 lap or 2. This is going to be a bold call. Do I pit now? I think I do, you know. It's definitely dry. I just don't know if it's dry enough, but I'm just going to go for it, to be honest. I mean, 1 lap's time, it'll be bone dry, so I might as well come in. But first, let's try and get past Gasly, because that could be an important move. I also want to make sure that I'm going to be pitting for new mediums, not new inters. Nice little switch back down the inside of Ocon. I think I said Gasly. I didn't mean that. Ocon. I've done a David Croft. And it is definitely time for dries now. Look how bone dry the track is. Break! Okay, nice one. Ocon is also in. And I might get done by Alonso, who stayed, he pitted for the hards. I think he definitely, he's going to go ahead by miles. But let's see what position I come out in. So there's a Ferrari going past. It's Sainz on hard, so he's good. There is also more cars behind. Gasly on hards, he's gone. Then there is going to be Pourchaire, he's gone. I'm at the pit exit, and I've crashed. So I exit the pits after not crashing in P9. Wow, that's actually pretty good. I mean, I thought I'd be a little bit higher, given my pace on the inters. There might still be a couple of drivers that haven't stopped yet. No, I don't think there is, because Alonso's currently P1 and he has stopped. So I am now fighting 4 points in P9. I have a 4-second gap back to Alex Albon, and I've also come out on the medium tyres, as you can see. Everyone else on the hards. I made that call because the hards can definitely do, well, 9 laps. It's like, it's not crazy, do you know what I mean? And to be honest, even if things, you know, go like to absolute poo, I could still, like, let Gasly go by. Well, not let him go, but if he does manage to pass, which he's thinking of doing now, I could still just fight Albon for that final points place. So this is looking pretty good, but, you know, trying to keep ahead of Gasly. Why do I keep saying Gasly? I don't know why. Just for some reason, I see that red helmet, and I think it's Gasly, when I don't think he's ever had a red helmet. I apologise. I don't know why I keep saying Gasly. My plan for this defence is also very simple. It's save ERS throughout the lap, because he can't overtake, basically from the first corner until the last. And then just dump my overtake down the main straight and hope it gives me enough. But if you look at this chicane, if I can do it correctly, like that, I do actually manage to gain about 2 tenths on Ocon. Actually got his name right for once, and that is actually saving me right now. Right, 5 laps remaining. I'm still holding on, but Gasly's getting a bit too close. Gasly, stay away. Stop saying Gasly. That's not his name. Ah! Actual imbecile at the wheel of this car right now. Okay, forget about it. Ocon yeah, he's a bit too fast for me at the moment, but I am managing to hold on. And look who is starting to close in a little bit. It's Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, wait, how's he ahead of me? I already overtook him, like, way earlier on in the race. How is he now there? I have no idea, but I am getting a little bit closer. I'm not sure if an overtake is possible, but even if I could just get in DRS, that would help me against my fight against Ocon. Nice one. And look at that. Look who's got DRS. Lovely stuff. So that should save me in my fight against Ocon. And maybe if I could charge some ERS, there is a genuine overtake into turn 1 and a P8 finish, potentially. Alright, penultimate lap of the race, and I do have a plan for this. I want to try and stay behind Tsunoda and ahead of Ocon. Let's see if I can do that. Here comes Ocon. He's going for it. It's not good enough, though, which means I could just sort of let Tsunoda go back by. Okay, nice one. My plan is to, well, overtake him on the final lap, because realistically, if I overtake him now, if I overtook him 10 seconds ago, there's a chance that he can get me back down the main straight on the final lap. But what I do need to do is not lose out with DRS on Tsunoda. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. And as you can see, I've got a beautifully recharged ERS tank, 80%, to just absolutely dump down the main straight. And you might be thinking, well, he's 6 tenths ahead. That's not close enough. Observe. He is now only 3 tenths ahead, so that's always good. I don't know why I'm so fast through that chicane compared to the AI. I think I just use an obscene amount of curb, whereas they use barely any at all. And here we go. Final lap. Is there a P8 finish on here? Now I've got 80% ERS to deploy. Here we come. Da, 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 da. Oh, and someone's off. Someone is off. It's an Aston Martin of Oh my God. I'm up to P7. Oh my goodness, on the final lap, Teo decides, nah, I don't want to be a Formula 1 driver, I prefer rallying. Gone off into the gravel, and now look at me. And that should be pretty much race over. There is no way I can lose the position to anyone unless I crash, which, let's be honest, I'm not going to do because I'm a world-class driver. But 2 absolutely incredible strategy decisions today. First of all, to take the intermediates over the wet tyres not only allowed me to stick with the rest of the cars on full wets, but when others decided it was, you know, not wet enough anymore and the inters were the best tyre, I just went ahead of them. And then to go to the medium tyre instead of the hard tyre, I was able to keep pace with Ocon and stay ahead of him while simultaneously overtaking Tsunoda. One of the best races of the season, well, not best race of the season, easily. One of the best races of the series. Yes! Points, 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 points. He's done it! And a little cheeky driver of the day. Who else? P21 to P7 with changing conditions on 110 AI. Built different. And here is your... Why is it raining again? That's quite lucky timing. Anyway, here's your final finishing results. Oh, that's just a beautiful sight to see, isn't it? If you actually look at my fastest lap, it's also pretty bad, really. The only driver... There are a couple around me with slightly slower. Gasly was slower. Albon was slower. And so was Tsunoda. But you go down here... Okay, my fastest lap wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, Hulkenberg didn't really have the result that he probably was thinking of. Yeah, finishing 12 seconds behind P20 Zhou Guanyu is not fantastic. Although, if you look, stops, he had 2 stops to be fair. So what I assume is he was one of those, like Daniel Ricciardo, like Jack Doohan, like Hamilton, Perez, and Verstappen, who all stopped to go from wets to inters and then stopped again to go from inters to dries. Meanwhile, I, along with... well, pretty much only me. I went from inters to dries. Everyone else just went full wets to dries. Norris takes the W. Fair play to him. The Drivers' Championship now looks like this. We are P11 with a crucial 6 points for the team. That's actually pretty good. That's actually crazy, really, when you think about it. There are 7 drivers that haven't scored a point this season. Wow. So there's 7 drivers that haven't scored a point. And just because I got 1 P7, I go from P21 or P17, wherever I was, to P11. That's crazy. At the top, there is now an 18-point gap between Norris and Piastri. Of course, Piastri DNFing, so Lando Norris taking the championship lead. And in the Constructors, we go from 11th or 10th, I don't remember, to 7th. Wow! That's really good. Wow, what a race. Well, that's going to be all from me today. If that doesn't deserve a like and subscribe, I don't know what does, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. And yeah, goodbye. See